the girl who got it immediately.
I think you've inspired me, Eric. I'm going to say, hey, you know who you are. Girl, let's stop playing around. You ain't got nobody. I ain't got nobody. Let's have each other.
I mean, seriously.
Let's go to the booth, baby. Let's take it to the booth. I'm going to bring her on the show.
Hey, bring her on the show.
I'm going to bring her on the show. I got to get her to text me back first, but I'm going to bring her. Everybody. We don't have no celebrities in the house. But we do have my boy Eric. And we have your boy Heero. We're here with the Identity Booth. It is a beautiful day. I'm no longer putting the dates in front of the podcast anymore because I've missed dates. And first and foremost, just made a shout out. Thanks for all the love and support we got from the
Valentine's Day video. We got a lot of hits.
That is great. Yeah. And we have to believe that it was because of the lovely, timeless, always exceptional Shawnee. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Yeah.
You were a major hit, and on a poll that we did in the show, we also have extended footage that we haven't released yet, but we're gonna release that. But extended footage, many people have said that you need to come back on the show. So we will be working with that and trying to figure that.
She wanted to come tonight. I was like, nah. She's like, what are your two? So excited. What are you guys' topics tonight? I was like, oh man, I'm trying to remember. She's like, I know you know. You just don't want to tell. I was like, nah, babe. I can't remember. Give me a second. So we're talking about this and that and the third. She's like, oh, okay. I know it's gonna be good. Can I come? I was like, no, you come next time.
That is great. Shawnee, we're going to have you back. I promise. We're going to get you back in here. But for today, we're actually got a short list because whether you believe it or not, this is a whole nother day.
Dun, dun, dun.
We have a short list. I don't know what I wrote here. Troubles. Oh, yeah. We got troubles in the White House. What is new? We'll also be talking about the political power of the Black Panther. It has helped out a lot. That movie's been out. I have a review up. It's going to be somewhere over here.
We're not going to talk about it today because
no spoiler. Eric hasn't seen the movie yet, which is kind of disappointing because I'm desperate to talk to somebody about this. Like, I'm begging my friends online to please talk to me.
Shawnee and I haven't decided if we're going to go get up in the morning and see it. Well, but I probably will. Me and Shawnee are very particular about how we like to see movies. We don't like to go when there's a bunch of people. We like to go to the top, sit in the back, make sure there's not a lot of people. So, because Shawnee, y'all already know, she's a lady. She's like, ooh, what's that mean? What does that happen? She's got commentary. Oh, did you just see what? Yeah, so she's that black person in the movie that talks. She's that person. Ooh, she's got a reaction. She's like, oh Lord, she's embarrassed.
Very loud, happy personality.
Yeah, she does. So we want to see it when there's not a lot of people, so we can actually have no distractions.
Early morning shows, you get the tickets for $5. Early bird show.
But man, I'm gonna pay the premium price and see it in the premium theater. I want the rumble seats and all that.
That's how I did it. It was a great movie. I have a review up. You guys should check it out. It's on my sister channel, The Strangers. It's a comic book. And congratulations to The Strangers comic book. Got to page 44 in inking. So that means we're 75% done with the comic book, black and white. Yeah. So that's just great. I shedded a single tear because that is a milestone for me. I've created a 44-page comic book. That's
an accomplishment. That's difficult. People don't understand how much goes into
it. I was just a person who liked to draw. Like, Eric can see this. I'll probably post some pictures up for you guys to see, but like, this is intricate, and this is just blank. There's no fillers, there's no background lodge. That's 75% right there of just ongoing artwork. And everybody knows I like to draw, but you also know it takes a lot more. You figure out that, you good at drawing? Are you good at drawing cars? Oh no, I'm just good at drawing people. Well, you're gonna have to learn how to draw cars. You're good at drawing guns? No, I'm not. I'm gonna have to learn to do that. So I learned a lot about myself in this journey, and I encourage you to also take a task that you think you're good at and produce something on a large scale and learn the intricate parts about finite details and things you think you're good at. You know, Eric is great at the stock market, but he's learning every day about intricate parts of it he didn't know, and I find that interesting. So let's jump into it. You got something you want to get off your chest?
Nah, brother. I want to talk about this whole White House situation.
So
boiling me over right now.
So if you're talking in real time, today's the 18th of February, 2018, and the 13 indictments have been handed down to 13 Russian conglomerates that came into the country woefully to run campaigns against the Hillary Party and the Democratic Party, and they actually spoke with Trump affiliates in the White House, whether knowing or unknowingly. Is this a big deal to you?
It is, but not for why the FBI says so. Not why Comey says so. I mean, I know when we were getting our rundown for the show, we had spoken briefly about it, but I kind of want to elaborate. See, the whole issue is Trump's filed for bankruptcy several times. Now, before I go on, I have no political affiliations at this point. I'm merely being an objective observer. While I would have never, ever in my life given Hillary a vote, doesn't mean that I think Trump's any better. But having said that, I look at the situation and I say Trump has filed for bankruptcy on several occasions. And it's a fact that the banks were very, very, what's the word? They were skeptical of his fiduciary responsibilities and were hesitant to give him loans. So he had to go outside of the country to get money to fund his project. So he had a building here. He needed cash flow. So I know he got himself in bed with the Russian mafia. Those people, those aren't good Russian people. They're bad Russian people. And what he was doing...
And the reason why he had to go to the Russian mob is more because even when he tried to do the Russian banks, they were like, nah, bro, you filed for bankruptcy 6-7 times, bro. Like, your money's no good here. So, carry on.
So, having Heero made a great point. So, knowing this, just imagine you get approached by somebody. Let's say you need $500 million to start a project. And somebody approaches like, hey, man, I know you had an issue at the bank, but maybe I can help you out with that. And you're like, oh, really? I'm listening. So you sit down, you have a meeting, you find out, oh, these people got billions of dollars. But they say, hey, man, I'll give you this money, but I'm going to need you to help me get my money from Russia into America legally. I'm like, oh, sure, I can help you do that. Why don't you just purchase a condominium in the Trump Tower? It costs this much money, and then we'll sell it. We'll even sell it at a loss. What does a criminal care if they lose a little bit of money if their money is now clean in an American bank and they didn't have it in an American bank? They have mountains of cash sitting somewhere in a vault or a safe somewhere, and they take it and they wash it and it's in an American bank now. What does that do? That automatically gives them international legitimacy. And the issue now that he has, not only is he in bed with these people, whether directly or indirectly, now he's got the FBI on his case, which even it intensifies the situation. So the thing about it is, the guy's just not that smart. If you were in bed with all these people, why in the world would you subject yourself to the scrutiny of an American government?
And the reason why is because it was part of the requirement. He had to run because with the mass amount of attention he was getting as far as the banks, Russia is not a political ally of America. No. They've constantly been trying. Russia has always been trying to undermine democratic lifestyles. So with that being said, when sanctions were being handed down by two separate Republican and Democratic president candidates, they knew that these sanctions would stall any operation they had. So they needed a mole on the inside. Trump running for president, it should be weird to you. It should sound very weird to you, and that's because it is. It's not something normal. Now, granted, And I can say this as someone from the left side with a oddly conservative lifestyle. There's not enough on Trump right now that could remotely put him in jail. Not even the people, not even the meetings that have been set up.
I would say, I don't know, Heero. And I'm me being a bit more right of center. I would say this is the plan. Like, all they need is to, in this country, first of all, you don't need solid proof. You just need to allege. It just needs to look bad enough, because if they make it look bad enough, 9 times out of 10, Trump will make a mistake, and they're banking on him.
And that's why I'm saying there's not enough to solidify.
But this is the issue. The issue is, first of all, they have to when they bring forth the charges. Now he no longer has veto power, and that's a powerful thing, because all the people that could say something against him, he can no longer pardon them, so they'll be silent.
But that's why they have to get him first.
That's why they had to bring the charges. So the charges have been brought. His veto power is going to go away. And once his veto power is going away, he can't pardon anyone. Everybody's going to flip that knows anything that would remotely make him look guilty. And then once they do that, they're not going to bring up federal charges against him. They're going to bring up state charges. And they're going to make it a RICO case in New York, which he's going to have to serve. He cannot be pardoned from that. Even if Mike Pence took over with a state conviction, he cannot be pardoned. He will have to serve his time.
And the thing that I feel is, Adam, and the reason why I mostly say that is because the intricate language of the 13 indictments states that they weren't willfully aware, which doesn't, that word alone means there's no blame. Yeah, they didn't know, and that's what makes me say someone like. But then we have confirmation from someone like Trump Jr. who said, "Oh, you got dirt on Hillary? I love it." That means he was willfully aware. But the key word is things of possession. What is a thing of possession? Is a thing of information. If I told you 2 + 2 is 4, would you find that valuable?
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you are a mathematician, you probably don't care, because that's something you already know. Yeah. So that is not a thing of value to me anymore, even though it's a piece of information. So if Trump Jr. said, I didn't find it particularly interesting.
Yeah.
He has a point in the court of law. But the 13th indictment, I feel, is a cover-up, a smokescreen, because another one of Trump's cabinet holders has flipped on him, and the name escapes me. I thought I said his name was Tim something yesterday.
I can't keep with all these people. Yeah. That dude has a revolving door of who's in his cabinet, who's not.
And as it stands now, he has 113 empty cabinet spots. The most to date at the particular set of time in someone's presidency. He's 1 year into his presidency, and he doesn't have 113 spots filled. And every week, and statistically speaking, every week, 3 people leave.
What does that say? There's a turd there, and nobody wants to step in the turd. That's what it.
There's been a historical drop in Republican seats, Senate seats. People who could easily go back into the race and win again in Republican shares are dropping out or retiring, and it's not because they don't think they can win. It's because they don't want to have to talk to their people.
But I think, just because I keep up with the financial news, there are other things going on behind the scenes.
What other things?
I would not talk about them on camera. I would talk to because they're I'm not going to give that information out. This information that I have costs money, and I'm not giving it away freely.
Eric is in the stock market, so I don't blame him. I'd hold it chest to say, but maybe you should check out our video on the stock market, so you could probably learn some things.
You could, and we're gonna do a series coming up soon. I'm putting it together. It's gonna be a different way for you to view money in the world, man. It's gonna revolutionize your life. I promise. So be looking out for that. But you gotta subscribe and hit the bell to get the notification when it goes live.
Mid-roll subscribe launch. If you're watching, if you've made it this far, statistically speaking, if you made it this far, like, you should subscribe, because on average, 45 minutes into the show, people usually cut out. And, like, that's for, like, an hour, 30-minute show. And if it's usually an hour-long show, 45 minutes, 17 minutes in, people usually drop out, and then we have an extended boost again at the 30-minute mark. So if you made it this far, 16 minutes, 16:30, hey, just hit the subscribe button while you're there. But pushing forward, the 13 indictments, like you said, I don't feel they'll have a major impact. The language of it is more important. I do want to know more about the person that Donald Trump is, that Mueller is now interviewing, who has signed a plea agreement. He's going to give up information, meaning the information he has is significant enough that they won't send him to jail or won't send him to jail for as long if he can corroborate information. So I'm interested to know that what that information is more important than these 13 indictments. I feel that one Timothy guy is more important than the 13 indictments.
Yeah, and I'm with it. Here's the thing about the Trump situation, though. You know, people are nobody's talking about Mike Pence. He very well, if we have an impeachment proceeding, he very well could become the new commander in chief. And who would he make his vice president? Speaker Ryan?
Yeah.
I mean, this looks like something off of House of Cards. This looks like something really, really interesting could happen.
And like I said, Trump was just the pawn. It's important for you guys to understand that they just needed an idiot to take the heat for the tax returns. Because if Trump gets kicked out of the White House and Pence walks up there and says, I didn't do that. That was all Trump's idea. I didn't ruin the economy. Trump did. I tried to tell him he's a criminal.
He's a lone ranger.
Yeah, we tried to curb his, but he was the president. But now that we're here, we're gonna do to make things better. Secretly, they're all gonna be laughing. I want to take it a step further and talk about a legitimate thing that might get Trump put in trouble. The FCC is gonna open up a case against Trump because his lawyer, Trump's main lawyer. His name escapes me right now. Trump's lawyer came up and admitted that he paid $130,000 to Stormy Daniels, the
hooker.
Is she a hooker?
The professional. She was a porn star. She was an adult entertainer.
And he paid $130,000. The Trump's lawyer, what is his name? Trump's lawyer.
I don't know it. So many stories on this.
It's so many damn stories. And I just want Trump's lawyer's name. God damn it. Google. I really can't.
They really making you click on it.
Yeah. Oh. Cohen. Michael Cohen. That's his name.
He's a Jewish guy.
Yeah. Michael Cohen paid $130,000 of his own money and said he did it because he would always protect Donald Trump. And unless there's a record showing that he's paid $130,000 to protect another one of his clients, it can be considered a form of favoritism or a direct payment to the campaign. Without that being said, they're going to clearly now open up an investigation to the transaction, and they'll be able to trace every single dollar of that.
If any of the money,
if one penny came from the Trump campaign, that's a federal felony, mandatory 2 years.
See, but they don't want a federal thing on him because Mike Pence could pardon him for that. That's not what they want.
But if Mike Pence pardons him, he's going to be removed from office. And furthermore, Mike Pence might be implicated in this because he was part of the campaign transition. Mike Pence would be for anyone to have, that would have been as ridiculous as anyone trying to pardon Nixon.
Nixon was pardoned.
He was. I mean, but yeah, look at the damage control. The Republican Party went into a death spiral at that point.
I mean, Gerald Ford pardoned him, though.
Granted, this is true. But I also feel like, was the pardon more so because it was to alleviate tension? Because rightfully so, when the accusations came out and the conviction was handed out, there was still a demographic of the country that was like, no, we're not going. You're not taking our president. We voted him in. We don't care what he did. And that's something that could very well happen with a bunch of Trumpers. Like,
I mean, the possibility is there for people to get mad, but at the end of the day, we learn American citizens. They'll ruffle a few feathers, they'll protest, they'll put up
and they'll sit down.
And then 2 weeks later, they'll forget about it.
Sit down. And that's okay. And I'm okay with bartering, but that immediately says it confirms our notions. And like you said, I much rather know my races than have to guesstimate. And not saying that they're racist, but that's just the analogy. Like, I much rather know that they know that we know that they're criminals. Mm-hmm. And for now, we can only point fingers. But the reason why Stormy Daniels is so important is because he's now come out with a dress where she has his DNA on it. Trump's DNA on it. But the reason why this isn't
is it ejaculate?
Yes, that's what she's claiming it is, and it's been kept in pristine condition, and they have a sample test for it.
They have, they can. Yeah, they don't need his ejaculate to know if it's.
No, they just need hair, fingerprint, and once he becomes president, his DNA goes into the database automatically. So they won't need a subpoena for a sample. They got it already. But the reason why this is so important is because Michael Cohen giving away this information, it automatically negates the non-disclosure agreement that she signed. Mm-hmm. And now that she has the freedom to speak, if she can confirm that she was talked to by Trump about money transactions to keep quiet about this, he's done.
Yeah.
So we could literally be doing this investigation on Mueller's side for absolutely nothing, because a porn star could take down the president.
It's happened to lesser men.
It has happened.
Look at Bill Clinton.
I'm just here to say, a very unpopular idea. White women are destroying the world.
I mean,
the white women are taking out 2 of our presidents. If this happens the way we thought it would,
let's look at third wave feminism. It is a destroying thing, but I mean, there's gonna be blowback from that. That's another topic for another day. But I mean, we know how this story ends. We've seen it before. It's happened, several times in the country. We already know.
So, how would you rather see him go down, Mueller or ejaculating on a dress?
Jacket off. Ejaculate on a dress.
Take your jacket off.
I would much rather them shut down the criminal investigation against him if he got popped for a porn star. To be perfectly honest, that's way more of a funny storyline, and that's way more of a ridicule against him.
Trump, I can't wait to see you in orange, Trump. He also made a disgusting statement yesterday. How many death threats do you think happen on the internet a day?
Thousands.
Let's try millions.
I'm thinking America probably. I would say 100,000.
No, I would say 100,000 in 1 hour of a Call of Duty game. On the Facebook, think about every political Facebook has at least 20,000 comments. If 10% of those are death threats, there's easy to say there's over 1 million. Easily over hundreds of millions of death threat comments every day. How many of those comments do you think are sent to the FBI?
We already know that the social media is monitored by the NSA, so they don't think that any, if all, any really are actionable.
Yeah, and that's why a lot of discussions coming out. The FBI we found out that the FBI got a call actually about the Parkland killer. But I was saying to the effect of, that was one call based on a YouTube comment that was of hundreds and hundreds of thousands of comments in that one comment section with no prior knowledge and no other triggers.
But they're already monitoring everything you're saying. So why didn't they look into it?
Because, I mean, then they would have to look into the other 100,000 other similar comments.
Well, if they're already monitoring, then they should do their job.
But, I mean, they're not, and that's to the effect of saying that they're not monitoring all of it because it's impossible almost. And Trump, the reason why I brought
But YouTube has algorithms, just like Facebook, they're in place for certain words or phrases. They can they have an algorithm that can demonetize your video based on certain things you say or have pictures you have up in the video. Like, this is how sophisticated it is. But you mean to tell me they can't go through a comment and determine if it's actionable or not? I'm not buying that.
It's not about if it is actionable, but it's the test of validity. Because if I say, man, fuck Trump,
you already go, oh, that's going on there.
Yeah, but then if someone, FBI person called me the next day and said, hey, you said fuck Trump, are you interested in having sex with Trump? I would first laugh and then say, put me within the vicinity so I can fuck his ass up. Like, yeah, sure, why not? I'm remotely interested. Like, because that's just what I'm saying. It's like, for the FBI to go around calling each person, they don't have the manpower, there's no financial, like, they don't have the finances for that. It's not practical. So for you to say that, the reason why I'm saying that why this is all back to Trump is because he then put on a tweet the other day talking about maybe if the FBI wasn't wasting so much time on this fake Russia story, they would have been able to stop the shooter. And I'm just like, bro, did you just use 17 dead kids to hide yourself, to protect yourself? Like, he hit a whole new low. I can't wait to see the blowback. This happened on Saturday. So I can't wait to see the blowback of this on Monday, because
he can't stay off the Twitter, bro. This is why he's going to not be president
much longer,
because he can't stay off the Twitter.
Like, that's despicable. That's low, man.
It is. Just think about it. And here's the thing: he's had the highest approval rating of his whole presidency. We're at 47% right now. And after that comment, I'm sure it's going to plummet 10 percentage points.
Yeah, he's down to 38 already, so.
I mean, how do you go from literally just not even a few weeks ago, 47%, now you're down to in the toilet?
That comment just kind of struck me as very odd. Like, man.
It's very,
bro.
It's a window inside the mind of a man who thinks so highly of him, more highly of himself than he ought to. And it really speaks to what his motives are now that he's there. He's there to serve himself and to serve those who helped him get there. I'm not saying he's any different than any other, but at least the other presidents had sense enough to sympathize.
No other president has ever.
And that what if Obama would have came out and said, hey, look, man, if the FBI would have been doing their business instead of messing with my girl Hillary, maybe Sandy Hook wouldn't have happened. Do you not think we would have put him through the ringer?
If the smallest Trump catastrophe would have been the thing that rocked Obama's presidency. This man was patronized for putting ketchup wearing a tan suit and putting mustard on the bottom of his burger. Like, that's something people talked about on Fox News. So it bothers me that, we don't hold him to the same standard we hold someone that we would critique to a higher standard. Mm-hmm. And this is part of the systematic, nullification of our mental our mental status. We have a person who isn't mentally equipped to handle the powers and to making these decisions, and we're excusing it because he's not a politician. That is not an excuse for not being inhumane. So, hey guys, this is Heero. Really appreciate all the support. Thanks for making it to the end of this video. If you're looking for any more content from us, don't hesitate to go to our YouTube page, The Identity Booth. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter as The Identity Booth. Don't hesitate to reach out. We greatly appreciate the support. If you're not watching this on YouTube, all the information will be in the link in the description below. Thanks a lot, guys. Take care.